Is it possible to achieve lasting behavior change? So, I think the obvious answer is yes, but I think there are quite a number of caveats when exploring the question of behavior change. Now, on the one hand, I think the reason there's so much one of the reasons that books about habits are very popular, and a lot of self-help literature about changing the things that you do. I think is because that is a need that a lot of us feel. Is we're like, man, we could be doing a lot better if we could change our behaviors on a consistent basis. Obviously, there's a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but there's a lot of things that are in our control. And of the things that are in our control, most of them benefit from us having consistent, excellent behaviors. So, um, we know that having excellent behavior is not a recent problem. The Apostle Paul talks in Romans 7 about the things that he would want to do. He doesn't do those things. And there are a number of ways, I think, to tackle the issue of behavior change. One is from the motivation side. So, can you make yourself really want the change? And do you have a big why behind it that endures? Secondly, what can you do in your environment to make that change easier, to facilitate that change? And thirdly, what can you do in yourself from a beyond just the motivation piece per se, beyond just like hype? What can you actually change inside of yourself? Is there emotional healing? Is there spiritual healing, freedom? Do you need to get rid of some demons? What is it that you can change on the inside that will allow you to change your external behaviors? And I do think that it is possible to have lasting behavioral change. I do think that it is also possible to struggle greatly with lasting behavioral change. And probably the classic one, of course, is weight loss. And while many people, probably most of us, in fact, have lost weight at some point, the number of people who have been able to maintain that weight successfully, the lower weight, is a lot lower. And some people are. Some people are able to lose that weight, and they find a lifestyle that works, and they stick to it. And that's excellent. And then some people not so much. And I think in weight loss, I'm not sure if that's actually a great illustration for behavior change because of the biological factors involved. It seems like the biological factors involved really can put pressure on your behavioral change. So, I think Malcolm Gladwell kind of summed it up as essentially your body basically is trying to maintain its weight set point and or like move that set point up a little bit, but basically it's trying to maintain that set point. And so you can fight it. So you can, with your behavior, you can fight your weight, but your body, essentially your biology, is fighting back. And so that is very tough to, and also especially when there's some emotional element, let's say, to your eating habits. Like for me, I'm much more prone, and this is probably, I'm sure it's also partly biological. Breakfast, lunch, I can eat a moderate amount, and I'm pretty good. I don't need. Oh, sure, I do like if it's kind of delicious, if it's a little sweet, whatever. So I'm not by all means at all means like perfect, right? I'm not eating veggie. I'm not having a green smoothie for my breakfast. But in the evenings, that I'm at home, I have free time. By the end of the day, I'm more tired. Maybe I'm not feeling my maybe emotional best or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I'd really like to have that bowl of granola or whatever. And so it's fortunately, I think there are other areas in life that are probably easier to be more effective with our behavior change than eating. Now, this is not to make any excuses for lack of behavior change in eating. It's to say that behavior change alone may not get you the results that you need eating, and then it's very hard to maintain the behavior change when you're not seeing the results that you get, right? Like the feedback loop is very vicious. If you're working hard to lose weight or to keep weight off and it's not working, like that is very, I would say, very difficult to maintain that sort of behavior change in the face of like negative feedback. But in other areas of life where I think one of the important things to realize is that most of what we do for a reason. So how can I change the underlying reasons for my behavior? If I have a habit of getting angry in a certain circumstance, well, that's not just, it may not be as simple as just deciding I'm going to stop being angry at this situation. It may be, hey, do I need some emotional healing here? Do I need a different environment that just I don't get in that situation on a regular basis anymore? What are the things that I can change that lead up to the behavior, rather than just say, I'm going to use willpower and not do this thing anymore? I think willpower is excellent. It's good. It's useful. It should be exercised. But I think it's a little bit like a muscle. I think to some extent you can grow it, but you can also fatigue. And I think one thing the Bible makes clear is that no one is good enough on their own. No one's, and I maybe this is extrapolating a bit beyond what the Bible says, but I think we could kind of infer that essentially willpower, it ain't gonna get you there. So we need a whole lot more than willpower in this life. And so what are the things that you can do to set yourself up in terms of environment, in terms of your inner health, to have the behavior that you want, and thereby to live the life that you want to live?